The morning light seeped softly through the branches, brushing the forest floor in golden streaks. Every leaf shimmered with dew, every fern quivered in the gentle breeze. Birds sang their quiet, layered songs, one note overlapping the next, creating a gentle rhythm that made Lily's steps feel slower, more deliberate. She wandered along the narrow trail, toes crunching softly against loose pine needles, her small fingers brushing against moss-covered roots. The forest had always been her sanctuary, a place where everything felt calm and familiar. Yet, today, there was something different. Something subtle that tugged at her curiosity. A faint whimper reached her ears. She froze. It was soft, hesitant, almost hidden beneath the usual chorus of morning birds. Lily's heart skipped a beat. She tilted her head, trying to pinpoint its source. The sound came again, slightly stronger this time, coming from a hollow in an old oak tree, its bark gnarled and worn with age. Slowly, she approached, knees bending as she crouched to look inside the hollow. The air smelled faintly of earth and pine, warm and comforting. And then, she saw him. A small dog, scruffy and golden brown, with fur that curled softly around his ears, peeked out from the shadows. His amber eyes were steady and calm, almost too knowing for a creature so small. He didn't bark. He didn't flinch. He simply tilted his head, as if assessing her, as if deciding whether she could be trusted. Lily's lips parted at a soft smile. She whispered, "Hello, little one." The dog's ears twitched. His nose nudged something hidden deeper within the hollow. Slowly, deliberately, he pushed it forward with the tip of his snout. His movements were careful, intentional, not urgent, but purposeful. Lily's curiosity deepened. She leaned closer, heart fluttering, fingers reaching out. The sunlight caught his fur, making it glow in soft amber tones. His eyes never left hers, and in that gaze, there was a quiet understanding. An unspoken invitation. "Are you trying to show me something?" she murmured. The dog nudged again, and then paused. He sat back on his haunches, ears perked, gaze fixed. Every movement carried meaning, though Lily couldn't yet understand it. She could feel it in the air, the gentle tension of anticipation, the quiet promise that something was waiting to be revealed. Her breath caught. She shifted slightly, leaning into the warmth of the morning sun, feeling a soft connection bloom between them. The forest around them seemed to hold its breath as well. She finally glimpsed what lay in the hollow, something small and carefully tucked away, a fragile bundle, cradled with care. Lily's heart thudded in her chest, not with fear, but with awe. She could feel the weight of the dog's intention, the depth of his focus, the sincerity in every gentle nudge. Softly, she whispered, "What is it?" The dog's amber eyes blinked slowly, as if acknowledging her question. Then he leaned closer, his small paws steady on the forest floor, keeping the hidden treasure safe. Lily's pulse quickened with wonder, but also with something deeper. She didn't know yet what it was, or why he was guarding it. But she could feel it, deep in her chest. A quiet truth, waiting to be discovered. A gentle mystery that only the two of them shared in that suspended moment. The morning seemed to stretch endlessly. Sunlight danced across leaves, a single bird fluttered past, and the dog remained steadfast, watchful, connected. Lily felt a warmth rising in her chest, a mix of curiosity, awe, and something tender she couldn't name yet. And in that silence, that golden, breathing pause of the forest, she knew one thing for certain. What the dog sensed would change everything. The morning sun climbed higher, spilling golden light through the trees. It filtered softly across the forest floor, catching on dewdrops and making the world seem as if it were wrapped in honey. Birds continued their gentle songs, and somewhere a breeze rustled the leaves, carrying the faint scent of pine and damp earth. Lily's heart still raced with the memory of the scruffy dog and the bundle he guarded, but now there was a sense of calm, like the forest itself was watching, waiting for what would come next. The dog had not moved far from the hollow. He sat there with quiet focus, his amber eyes scanning Lily as though he could see straight into her curiosity. Then, slowly, he rose, stretching his small body in a graceful arch. His paws barely made a sound on the mossy ground, yet each step was deliberate, careful. He circled the hollow once, then turned back toward Lily, tilting his head as if asking her to follow. Lily's small voice whispered, "Okay? I'm following." Her feet stepped softly over roots and uneven ground, careful not to startle him. Each time she moved closer, the dog would glance back, then resume nudging, sniffing, or circling, never frantic, never rushed, but precise. It was as though he had a plan, and every movement had meaning. She noticed the way he sniffed the air, lifting his nose and catching subtle scents carried on the breeze. Every so often, he would pause, ears twitching, eyes narrowing slightly, and Lily could almost see the gears turning behind those amber eyes. She felt a strange comfort in watching him, as if he were guiding her through something important, yet gentle. The forest around them seemed to bend to the rhythm of the dog's movements. Sunlight fell in dappled patches, highlighting the soft curve of his back, the curl of his fur, and the intensity in his gaze. Lily felt her own senses heighten. Every scent, every sound, every touch of the warm morning air carried new meaning. She realized she was not simply observing, she was participating. She was part of this quiet, unfolding story. At one point, the dog paused near a cluster of ferns. He gently nudged the bundle with his nose, then looked back at Lily with what could only be described as expectation. Her fingers trembled slightly as she reached toward it. But before she touched anything, the dog nudged again, this time guiding her to shift her angle, to kneel and look at it more closely. His patience was infinite. His intuition precise. Lily whispered, You really know what you're doing, don't you?" The dog's tail gave a soft, deliberate wag. Not an excited wag, but one that felt like reassurance, like a silent "trust me." Lily's heart warmed. She crouched lower, letting her hands hover just above the object, careful not to disturb the delicate balance the dog had created. She noticed how his ears flicked toward every subtle sound of the rustle of leaves, a distant bird call, the soft hum of wind, and she began to understand that he was not just guiding her to the bundle. He was protecting it, evaluating it, ensuring that she would understand its importance in the gentlest way possible. She watched him for a long moment, marveling at his intuition. He wasn't trained. He didn't have a human voice, yet somehow he was communicating everything she needed to know. Every careful nudge, every glance, every soft whine carried meaning. She leaned forward slightly, and he stayed calm, waiting for her to follow the rhythm he had set. It was as if time slowed. Lily could hear the soft thrum of her own heartbeat mingling with the forest's quiet symphony. Every movement the dog made seemed choreographed, deliberate, meaningful, purposeful. She realized she was learning to trust him, not because she had any reason to, but because something deep inside told her she could. The bundle in the hollow was still mostly hidden, yet the dog's careful guidance made her feel that revealing it was inevitable and safe. He nudged it slightly forward again, then sat back, giving her space. The sun caught his eyes, making them glimmer ambergold, and Lily felt an almost overwhelming surge of admiration and wonder. There was a quiet majesty in his gentleness, a depth to his intuitive understanding that made her chest ache with warmth. "Thank you," she whispered softly. I understand." He blinked slowly at her, and she felt the unspoken connection tighten. Every instinct told her he wasn't just a dog in need of care, he was a guide, a gentle protector, a silent teacher of patience, observation, and trust. His intuition had led her here, and she could sense that there was more to uncover. For a few minutes, they sat in quiet companionship. Lily's small hands rested on her knees, and the dog's head tilted slightly as he continued to watch her, attentive, protective. The world felt suspended, warm, golden, and perfect in its stillness. Then, without warning, he nudged the bundle again, this time in a way that made her heart leap. It was subtle, yet insistent, a reminder that the story had only just begun. Lily leaned closer, sensing the importance of what she was about to see. The dog's intuition had not just guided her, it had prepared her emotionally, teaching her how to approach with care, how to witness with reverence. She took a slow, deliberate breath. The scent of pine and moss filled her lungs. The sunlight bathed them in warmth. And as her fingers finally brushed the bundle, she realized the truth. She had never met a creature so small with such enormous understanding, such careful, gentle wisdom. The forest whispered around them. Birds flitted overhead. The dog's gaze never wavered. And Lily knew, deep down, that his intuition was more than just instinct. It was connection, understanding, love. And though she could not yet see the full secret of the bundle, one thing was clear: the dog's guidance had been perfect, precise, and intentional. Whatever lay hidden, it mattered. And the dog had ensured she would approach it with exactly the right heart. For a long moment, she sat there, awed and quiet, letting the morning stretch around her. The golden light, the warm forest, the steady presence of the dog, all of it wove together into a tapestry of calm, wonder, and gentle anticipation. And in the quiet intimacy of that shared understanding, Lily felt it: the dog's intuition was not just a gift for discovery. It was a bridge between two hearts, a connection she would never forget, and a promise that whatever came next would be revealed in its own gentle, beautiful time. The forest seemed to breathe around Lily. Every leaf shimmered in the golden morning light, and a soft wind carried the faint scent of pine, damp soil, and wildflowers. Birds trilled in quiet harmonies, their songs drifting lazily through the air. Lily's eyes remained fixed on the dog, who now sat with serene attentiveness near the hollow tree trunk. His amber eyes glimmered like tiny suns, steady and knowing, watching her with patience that felt almost human. She crouched slowly, trying not to disturb the bundle he guarded, and leaned back against a sturdy root for support. Her curiosity was growing, stretching and expanding like the sunlight around them. Every subtle movement of the dog, every careful nudge, every tilt of the head, every gentle paw made her heart beat a little faster. She realized she was not just witnessing an action, she was being invited to understand it, to follow it, gently, thoughtfully, with intention. The dog rose again, stepping lightly over moss and fallen leaves. He circled the hollow twice, pausing to sniff the air before glancing back at her. His gaze was insistent but calm, as if encouraging her to see the world through his eyes. Lily followed him silently, each footstep careful, deliberate. She wanted to understand every movement, every intention, every reason behind the way he guided her. Why are you doing this?" she whispered softly. Her voice barely disturbed the morning calm, yet it carried a sense of wonder that seemed to reach the dog. His tail wagged slowly, deliberately, a reassurance, an acknowledgement of her question. Lily's lips curved into a small smile. She felt a connection growing stronger with every second they spent together. The bundle in the hollow remained mostly hidden, and that only deepened her curiosity. What could be so important that the dog would guard it with such careful attention? Her mind wandered through possibilities, each one more imaginative than the last. She imagined lost kittens, a hidden treasure, even a tiny bird with a broken wing. Each idea made her heart flutter, not with fear, but with anticipation. The dog suddenly nudged a small leaf aside, then paused, his gaze returning to hers. Lily realized he wasn't just showing her the bundle, he was teaching her patience. He was encouraging her to observe, to feel, to trust. She crouched lower, letting her eyes adjust to the shadows within the hollow. Her breath came slowly, rhythmically, syncing with the dog's steady presence. Every now and then, he would glance at her, blink slowly, then return his focus to the bundle. Lily's mind raced, trying to understand the intelligence behind his gentle movements. It was more than instinct. It was careful, intentional guidance, and it was wrapped in something profoundly warm: care. She leaned forward slightly, careful not to disturb him, and tried to memorize every detail: the way his fur caught the light, the curve of his ears, the subtle movement of his tail. There was an elegance to his patience, a quiet dignity in the way he moved, and Lily couldn't help but feel a swell of admiration. She had never met a creature so small with such deliberate, thoughtful understanding. As she observed him, the dog nudged the bundle again. This time, the motion was soft but insistent, a gentle reminder that discovery required both attention and care. Lily's eyes widened as she leaned closer, noticing tiny details: a piece of fabric, a faint outline, the gentle warmth radiating from it. Her curiosity deepened. She realized that the dog's guidance was not random. Every movement had a reason, every pause a purpose. She whispered, almost to herself, "I think, you want me to see it the right way." The dog's amber eyes met hers again, steady and unwavering. He gave a soft, deliberate tilt of his head. It was as if he were confirming her thought, acknowledging that she was beginning to understand. Lily felt her chest fill with warmth, a quiet joy at being part of this unfolding story. The forest around them seemed to hum in agreement, leaves rustling gently, sunlight shimmering across the moss, as if nature itself approved of the connection forming between them. Minutes stretched lazily. Lily's gaze never left the dog or the hidden bundle. She noticed the smallest details: the curve of the dog's paws, the rise and fall of his chest as he breathed, the subtle way his ears twitched at distant sounds. She felt herself sinking with his rhythm, as though they were breathing together in quiet harmony. "Okay," she murmured softly. "I'm watching. I'm ready." The dog responded with a subtle wag of his tail, and then nudged the bundle a final time, ensuring it rested perfectly within the hollow, safe and undisturbed. Lily's hands hovered just above it, her fingers tingling with anticipation. Every instinct in her body told her this was a moment to honor. A moment to witness, not rush. A moment to feel the connection and trust the dog had fostered so patiently. She realized she was learning from him not just about patience, but about intuition, understanding, and empathy. She felt a gentle ache of admiration for the way he had guided her without a single word. It was as if he were teaching her the meaning of quiet trust, the importance of observing before acting, and the beauty of being fully present in a single, golden moment. The dog shifted slightly, sitting back on his haunches, and Lily noticed the way his eyes softened. He wasn't just guiding her anymore, he was sharing a part of himself. A part of his heart. And she knew that the bundle, whatever it contained, was only part of the story. The true lesson was unfolding in the way they interacted, quietly, patiently, with deep, unspoken understanding. Sunlight streamed through the canopy above, warming Lily's face. A breeze stirred, carrying the sense of earth and pine deeper into her senses. And as she watched the dog, feeling the calm but purposeful energy radiating from him, her curiosity grew even stronger, not in impatience, but in wonder. She knew that the next moment would reveal something incredible. Something that mattered. Something that would teach her about trust, love, and connection. The forest seemed to pause, holding its breath, as Lily whispered, "I think I understand you a little better now." The dog's eyes glimmered in the sunlight, and he gave a gentle nudge toward the hollow. Lily's heart swelled. She realized that discovery was no longer about the hidden bundle alone, it was about this shared understanding, this gentle dance of trust, intuition, and patience. And in that quiet, golden moment, she knew that whatever came next, whatever the dog was guiding her to uncover, would be revealed slowly, beautifully, and warmly. The gentle mystery had deepened. And Lily's heart told her she was ready. The sun had climbed higher now, casting gentle patches of gold across the forest floor. Light spilled through the leaves, creating a mosaic of warmth and shadow that danced with every breeze. Lily remained kneeling beside the hollow tree trunk, eyes locked on the scruffy dog. His amber gaze held a calm patience that seemed endless, and in that quiet, she felt the soft pull of something deeper, a connection she hadn't known was possible. The dog nudged the bundle gently with his nose, then looked back at her, ears perked. His movements were deliberate, slow, almost meditative. He wasn't rushing her, yet somehow he was guiding her understanding, teaching her how to observe with care and attention. Lily felt her chest swell with affection. There was something profoundly comforting in the way he moved, as if his purpose was not just to protect the bundle, but to draw her into a shared rhythm, a quiet communion. She reached out, letting her fingertips hover above the edge of the hollow, careful not to disturb the bundle. The dog stayed perfectly still, watching her intently. His amber eyes were warm, steady, full of trust. Lily whispered softly, "You're so careful. I think I understand why you're doing this." The dog gave a slight, deliberate wag of his tail. It wasn't excited or playful, it was measured, meaningful. A silent acknowledgement. A gentle reassurance. Lily's heart ached with warmth. She realized that the dog's guidance was about more than curiosity or mystery. It was about teaching her patience, about inviting her to feel, to witness, to connect. She knelt lower, letting the sunlight bathe her face in its soft glow. Every small movement the dog made, the tilt of his head, the subtle shift of his paws, the gentle wag of his tail, spoke volumes. Lily began to mirror his calm, careful breathing. Inhaling slowly, exhaling slowly, letting herself settle into the quiet rhythm he set. She felt as though the forest itself had slowed, wrapping them both in a cocoon of warmth, light, and gentle understanding. The dog leaned slightly forward, nudging the bundle again, just enough to shift it so she could see a little more. Lily's breath caught. She could make out textures now, a soft, worn cloth, a tiny shape tucked safely within. Her eyes widened with awe. She realized that whatever lay in the hollow was fragile, precious, and deserving of the care the dog had shown. "You've been keeping this safe for a reason," she whispered. "And I want to understand it with you." The dog's gaze softened, amber eyes blinking slowly. It was almost as if he were smiling at her in the only way he could. Lily felt a warmth bloom in her chest, a quiet sense of wonder and gratitude. This small creature, who had appeared so suddenly on her path, had somehow invited her into a world of gentle discovery, teaching her trust and empathy without a single word. Minutes passed in quiet companionship. Lily and the dog shared a delicate rhythm, a subtle dance of trust and intuition. The dog nudged the bundle, then paused, watching her reactions closely. Lily realized that he wasn't just guiding her to uncover the object, he was guiding her to experience the moment fully, to feel the connection between them, to understand the importance of presence and care. The forest seemed to hum around them. Birds flitted between branches, a soft wind stirred leaves, and the sunlight played across the dog's fur, making it glow in soft, golden tones. Lily reached out, brushing a strand of hair from her face, and felt a quiet thrill of companionship. There was no fear here. Only trust. Only warmth. Only the growing bond between a girl and a creature who understood more than she could yet name. The dog nudged the bundle once more, then leaned back slightly, allowing Lily to approach a little closer. She felt a rush of gratitude for his patience, his guidance, his quiet insistence that she take the time to understand. She knelt lower, letting her fingers brush against the soft cloth, feeling its texture without disturbing the delicate balance. "You've been waiting for me to be ready," she whispered softly. "To see it, to understand it, to feel it." The dog blinked slowly, his gaze unwavering. Lily realized that his actions weren't just about the bundle. They were about connection. About trust. About empathy. About teaching her to feel deeply, to observe carefully, to honor the moment. And in that quiet, golden morning, Lily felt her heart open wider than it ever had before. She leaned closer to the hollow, letting the sun's warmth bathe her face, letting the forest wrap them in calm, letting the dog's steady presence anchor her in the moment. Every nudge, every glance, every tilt of his head was a message. A lesson. A bridge between their two worlds. She felt an unspoken understanding grow, that whatever lay hidden was important, yes. But the journey to discover it, guided by his gentle intuition, was just as vital. For a long moment, they remained like that, two beings in perfect quiet, breathing in harmony, connected through trust and gentle understanding. Lily realized she had never felt anything like it. There was no need for words. No rush, no fear. Only warmth, only patience, only shared anticipation. The sunlight shifted slightly, brushing across the dog's fur and glinting in his eyes. Lily's chest swelled with emotion. She whispered again, softly, almost reverently, I think we're ready now." To see. To understand. Together. The dog gave a soft, deliberate wag of his tail. It was an acknowledgement. A promise. A confirmation that the bond between them was now stronger than any curiosity alone. He had guided her not just to witness, but to feel. To connect. To trust. And in that quiet forest, golden and alive with morning light, Lily understood something profound. The connection she shared with this small, intuitive creature was rare. It was sacred. It was the beginning of something that would change both of their lives. The bundle remained partially hidden, but Lily no longer felt impatience. She felt reverence. She felt warmth. She felt love. And she knew that the next moment, the moment of gentle revelation, would be the most beautiful one yet. The dog's eyes met hers, steady and calm, and Lily felt a soft, unspoken message pass between them. Trust. Wait. Feel. And she did. The forest held its breath. The sunlight shimmered. And the bond between girl and dog deepened, a quiet, golden thread connecting them in trust, empathy, and gentle understanding. The sunlight filtered through the forest canopy in soft, golden streams, illuminating the hollow tree and the small bundle within it. Lily's heart thudded gently in her chest. She had spent hours observing, learning, and connecting with the dog, and now, the moment of gentle revelation had arrived. The forest felt alive, but calm. Every rustling leaf, every bird's trill seemed to exist solely to witness this quiet, intimate moment. The dog nudged the bundle again, slowly, deliberately, as if encouraging her to look closer. His amber eyes, calm and focused, held an almost human understanding. Lily knelt lower, careful not to disturb him, letting her fingers hover above the soft cloth that concealed the treasure within the hollow. She took a slow, steady breath, feeling the warmth of the sun on her face and the steady, reassuring presence of the dog beside her. With a gentle motion, she pulled back the edge of the cloth. Her eyes widened. Inside lay a tiny, shivering kitten, its fur mottled gray and white, eyes barely open, mewing softly. Lily's chest swelled with tenderness. The dog had led her here with quiet precision, guiding her to a fragile life that needed care, protection, and love. Every careful nudge, every watchful glance had been about preparing her for this moment, to feel empathy, to act with patience, to witness without panic. "Oh, you poor thing," she whispered, her voice trembling with warmth. She reached slowly, allowing the dog to stay close, watching over her movements. The kitten mewed again, a tiny, vulnerable sound, and Lily felt her heart stretch wider than she had ever imagined possible. The dog sat back slightly, giving her space, amber eyes steady and watchful. Lily realized that he had not only led her to the kitten but had also guided her emotional response. He had prepared her to act with calm, with tenderness, and with love. She could feel his presence as a quiet anchor, steadying her hands, softening her touch. Gently, she lifted the kitten, cradling it close to her chest. Its warmth seeped into her, tiny heartbeat against her own. She whispered soothing words, careful not to frighten it. The dog stayed beside her, tail wagging slowly, approving every motion, every gesture of care. Lily felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude, not just for the life in her hands, but for the creature who had guided her to it with such deliberate care. The forest seemed to exhale, a soft breeze rustling the leaves, carrying the scent of pine and moss through the air. Lily looked down at the dog, and in that moment, she felt an unspoken understanding pass between them. He had not acted for recognition or reward. His intention had been simple, yet profound, to lead, to guide, to connect, and to teach. "You knew I'd be gentle," Lily murmured softly, her voice full of awe. The dog blinked slowly, as if to say, "Yes. I knew you would." A quiet bond deepened between them, something unspoken but powerful. She settled herself on a patch of sun-warmed moss, cradling the kitten and letting the dog sit close. Every movement, every sound, every glance carried meaning. Lily's fingers stroked the kitten's soft fur, and the dog's steady gaze never wavered. She felt a profound sense of harmony in that moment, a perfect alignment of trust, intuition, and compassion. Minutes passed in gentle stillness. The kitten nuzzled into Lily's chest, comforted by her warmth. The dog nudged closer, resting his head on his paws, eyes alert yet relaxed. The sun shifted in the sky, casting warm, golden hues across their small tableau. Lily could feel the weight of the morning's journey, the lessons of patience, observation, and trust the dog had imparted settling in her chest. She whispered softly to both of them, "We'll take care of you, together." The dog blinked slowly, and she could almost sense a quiet pride in his expression. He had led her here, guided her understanding, and now, in the soft golden light, she was fulfilling the purpose he had prepared her for. The forest seemed to hum around them, leaves rustling gently, birds chirping in soft, melodic harmony. Lily felt a connection not just with the dog and the kitten, but with everything around her, the soil beneath her fingers, the moss beneath her knees, the sunlight filtering through the leaves. She was fully present, fully alive to the gentle mystery that had unfolded before her. Every instinct in her body told her that this was a moment to savor, to honor. The dog had revealed not just the kitten, but also a lesson about trust, patience, and the quiet power of empathy. Lily felt her heart expand with gratitude, love, and a newfound understanding of the depth of connection between humans and animals. As she held the kitten, she noticed the dog glance toward the forest path, then back at her. There was a subtle message in his amber eyes, a reminder that this was only the beginning. The gentle reveal had started, but the journey of care, understanding, and connection would continue. Lily felt a thrill of anticipation, but it was tempered with calm, confidence, and trust. The kitten stretched its tiny paws and mewed again, nestling closer to Lily. She felt a rush of tenderness, a quiet joy that filled her chest completely. The dog remained close, his presence steady and reassuring, guiding without force, teaching without words. Every subtle nudge, every watchful glance, every gentle pause had led to this soft, heartwarming revelation. And as the sunlight shifted, casting a golden halo around them, Lily realized the truth of the moment. The dog's intuition had not only protected the fragile life of the kitten, but it had also guided her heart, preparing her to embrace this gentle, unexpected responsibility with care, love, and understanding. The forest seemed to exhale, the morning stretching lazily into warmth and calm. Lily smiled softly, her chest full of emotion. She whispered to the dog, "Thank you, for everything. You knew exactly what to do." The dog blinked slowly, resting his head gently on his paws, amber eyes reflecting quiet satisfaction. For a long, golden moment, the three of them, girl, dog, and kitten, sat together in serene harmony. The forest around them, bathed in sunlight, seemed to acknowledge their bond, wrapping them in warmth, safety, and gentle understanding. And Lily knew, in the quiet hush of that sunlit morning, the story of discovery, trust, and care had only just begun. The gentle reveal had started, but the heart of the mystery, the lessons of love, patience, and connection would continue to unfold in ways more beautiful than she could yet imagine. The afternoon sunlight shifted, softening as it passed through the high canopy. Warm beams dappled the forest floor, making patches of moss glow like emeralds in the gentle light. Lily sat cross-legged on a bed of fallen leaves, the tiny kitten resting comfortably against her chest. Beside her, the dog remained watchful yet relaxed, amber eyes tracking every small movement. The air was filled with calm, the kind of quiet that allows hearts to slow, thoughts to settle, and emotions to rise naturally. Lily traced gentle circles on the kitten's soft fur, her fingers careful, deliberate. She felt a swell of warmth in her chest, a quiet, expansive joy that made the sunlight feel even more golden, the air even more alive. She glanced at the dog, whose gaze never wavered, steady and unwavering. In that moment, she understood something profound. He had not only led her to the kitten, he had guided her heart. You knew I'd understand," she whispered softly, almost to herself. "You trusted me to care." The dog blinked slowly, giving the faintest wag of his tail. Lily smiled, her eyes misting slightly with emotion. She realized the depth of his guidance, the quiet, deliberate patience that had shaped every step of the morning, every small movement toward discovery, every tender lesson in observation and empathy. The kitten stirred in her arms, a tiny, tentative mew escaping its soft throat. Lily adjusted her hold, rocking it gently, and felt the life within it pulse against her chest. She glanced back at the dog, and their eyes met, amber locking with brown. There was understanding there, a quiet acknowledgement of shared purpose and care. Lily's heart swelled. For a long moment, she simply observed. The dog, still vigilant but calm, seemed to communicate a silent truth. Connection is cultivated through attention, through care, through shared presence. The kitten's fragile life had revealed this truth to her, but the dog's unwavering guidance had taught it. Lily breathed deeply, letting the warm air fill her lungs. I think I understand now," she murmured. "It's not just about finding the kitten, it's about learning how to see, how to feel, how to trust." The dog gave a subtle tilt of his head, as if approving her insight. He nudged the kitten slightly, ensuring it remained comfortable, and Lily felt a ripple of gratitude and awe pass through her. Every careful nudge, every glance, every gentle pause had led to this moment of realization, a moment where her heart and understanding shifted. She leaned back against a sturdy tree trunk, sunlight washing over her, and reflected on everything that had happened. Her curiosity had led her into the forest, the whimpering sound had drawn her attention, and the dog had guided her step by step, teaching her lessons she hadn't known she needed. Every instinct, every movement, every choice had been deliberate, and now, she saw the emotional pattern, the meaning behind it all. "I see it now," she whispered, eyes soft with wonder. "You've been teaching me how to care." The dog's amber eyes shone with quiet pride, tail wagging slowly in a rhythm that mirrored the gentle pulse of the forest around them. Lily felt her chest rise with gratitude, her fingers brushing over the kitten's tiny head, and she realized that the turning point was not simply discovering the bundle, it was understanding the deeper lesson. Empathy, trust, and connection could not be rushed. They had to be felt, nurtured, and honored. Minutes passed in tranquil silence. The forest seemed to hum in agreement, leaves rustling gently, the sunlight shifting in lazy arcs across the ground. Lily's gaze moved from the kitten to the dog, and she felt an intimate warmth spread through her chest. It was a soft, grounding feeling, a reassurance that the bond she had formed with the dog was not fleeting, not accidental, but meaningful and enduring. She whispered again, almost reverently, "You've been patient with me, and I needed it more than I realized." The dog's ears flicked slightly, and he shifted closer, resting his head near her arm, amber eyes meeting hers with steady calm. Lily felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes, not from sadness, but from the depth of gratitude and emotion that filled her. She realized how rare and precious this moment was. A small girl, a scruffy dog, a tiny life they had discovered together, all converging in quiet harmony. As she held the kitten, she began to notice the subtle rhythms of the dog's presence, the rise and fall of his chest as he breathed, the faint twitch of his ears at distant sounds, the deliberate wag of his tail. Every detail reinforced what she had learned. His intuition was precise, patient, and deeply connected to her own. Lily felt a sense of awe at the intelligence and care contained in this small creature. She whispered softly, "You've changed me today, and I think I can help too." The dog blinked slowly, as if acknowledging the statement. Lily understood that their connection was no longer just about her learning from him. It was reciprocal. The kitten, the forest, the warmth of the sun, and the dog's quiet guidance had created a turning point in her heart, a place where empathy and understanding intertwined, forming a new rhythm for her life. She held the kitten close, feeling the soft pulse of its tiny body against her own. "We'll take care of you together," she murmured. "The three of us, we'll figure it out." The dog nudged the kitten lightly, then rested his chin on his paws, eyes attentive but relaxed. Lily felt a profound wave of gratitude and love. The turning point had been reached, not in discovery alone, but in the deep emotional bond that had formed through patience, observation, and trust. The sunlight continued to shift, dappling their small circle of warmth with fleeting, golden patterns. Lily leaned her head against the dog's shoulder, feeling the soft weight of his presence. She realized she had learned something far greater than she had expected, that trust, empathy, and love were nurtured through attention, care, and shared presence. And in that serene, golden moment, Lily understood fully, the journey was far from over. There were lessons still to be revealed, discoveries still waiting in the shadows of the forest, and a bond with the dog that would guide her through it all. Her heart swelled with anticipation, gratitude, and quiet joy. She whispered softly, "Thank you, for showing me the way." The dog blinked slowly, giving a subtle, deliberate wag of his tail, a silent acknowledgement that she had understood. Lily felt her chest fill with warmth, and she knew, deep in her heart, that the emotional turning point had been reached. The forest exhaled softly around them. Birds sang, sunlight shimmered, and the connection between girl and dog solidified, anchored in trust, patience, and quiet love. And Lily felt ready to continue, knowing that the most heart-touching revelations were still ahead. The late afternoon sunlight poured through the trees in long, golden beams, catching on leaves and moss and giving the forest a gentle glow. Lily sat cross-legged, the kitten nestled safely against her chest, its tiny purrs soft and steady. The dog lay nearby, amber eyes glowing in the warm light, watching her with unwavering attentiveness. The forest seemed to hold its breath, as if sensing that a truth, long hidden and quietly guarded, was about to unfold. Lily traced her fingers along the kitten's soft fur, feeling its warmth seep into her palms and chest. Every heartbeat seemed to echo in harmony with the gentle rhythm of the forest, the rustling leaves, the distant bird song, the soft whisper of wind through the trees. She felt an extraordinary stillness, as if time had paused to honor this moment of connection. The dog nudged the kitten gently with his nose, then looked up at Lily, amber eyes steady and calm. It was a look that conveyed understanding, guidance, and reassurance all at once. Lily leaned forward, letting her gaze meet his, and in that quiet exchange, she felt the weight of the morning's journey, the whimpering in the hollow, the careful nudges, the patient guidance, and the lessons of trust and empathy. Everything had led to this very point. Softly, she whispered, You've been protecting him all this time." The dog blinked slowly, and she realized the truth. This small creature in her arms, the fragile kitten, had been saved not just by chance but by the dog's deliberate care and intuitive actions. Every nudge, every glance, every step he had taken was part of a larger plan, a plan guided by love, intuition, and a deep understanding of what needed to be done. Lily's chest swelled with awe and gratitude. She looked down at the kitten, then back at the dog, and she could see it clearly now. The dog's devotion had saved a life. But more than that, it had taught her something invaluable. It had shown her the depth of empathy, the power of patience, and the quiet courage that comes from caring without expectation of reward. You're a hero," she whispered softly, voice trembling with emotion. The dog tilted his head slightly, giving a subtle wag of his tail. Lily realized that heroism did not always come in grand gestures or loud proclamations. Sometimes, it came in the quiet, deliberate, patient acts of care, like the way this small, scruffy dog had guided her, protected the kitten, and nurtured a bond that transcended words. The kitten stirred, lifting its tiny head and blinking at Lily with wide, trusting eyes. She cradled it closer, feeling the softness of its fur and the steady warmth of its tiny body. The dog nudged her gently again, a subtle reminder that the lesson was not only about rescue, but about connection. Lily understood. The dog had led her not just to the kitten, but to a deeper understanding of love, trust, and compassion. She whispered, "You knew exactly what to do, and you taught me without even speaking." The dog blinked slowly, resting his head lightly on his paws. In that moment, Lily felt a quiet, profound gratitude, a recognition of the depth of intuition and care that this small creature possessed. She realized that the true heart-touching truth was not only the kitten's safety, but the lessons she had learned along the way. The forest seemed to hum softly around them, leaves fluttering in the gentle breeze, sunlight shimmering across the ground. Lily felt herself filled with warmth, an emotional resonance that seemed to stretch to every corner of her being. She understood now that the dog's actions had been motivated by love, empathy, and the quiet instinct to protect and guide. You've changed me," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "You show me how to care, how to trust, how to really see." The dog's amber eyes glimmered in response, calm and knowing. He had been more than a guide, he had been a teacher, a companion, and a quiet hero, shaping the morning into something profoundly beautiful. The kitten purred softly against her chest, and Lily felt her heart swell with emotion. She realized that the bond between the three of them, the girl, the dog, and the tiny life they had nurtured together, was more powerful than anything she could have imagined. Every careful step, every gentle nudge, every moment of patience and observation had led to this heart-touching revelation: love and empathy are as quiet as they are powerful. The dog nudged her hand gently, resting his head against her arm. Lily smiled, tears pricking her eyes. She understood the depth of the moment fully: the dog's intuitive care, the kitten's fragile presence, and her own willingness to trust and learn had combined into a tapestry of connection that was rare, delicate, and beautiful. "You saved him," she whispered again, looking at the dog with awe. "But, you saved me too." The dog blinked slowly, amber eyes calm, steady, full of quiet pride. Lily felt the truth settle into her heart. The morning's journey had been about more than rescue. It had been about transformation, about understanding the quiet power of connection, trust, and patience. She glanced around the forest, sunlight shimmering on leaves, moss, and bark. Everything felt alive, supportive, and nurturing. Every rustle, every distant chirp, every beam of light seemed to affirm the lesson she had learned, that love, empathy, and understanding can guide hearts, connect souls, and protect life in the gentlest ways. The kitten stirred again, curling closer to her, trusting, safe, and warm. Lily looked down at the dog, and their eyes met once more. She whispered softly, "You knew all along, didn't you?" The dog blinked slowly, as if to say, "Yes, and you understood." Lily felt an overwhelming surge of gratitude. This small, scruffy dog, with his amber eyes and gentle intuition, had taught her more than she could have imagined. He had guided her, nurtured her empathy, and revealed the most heart-touching truth: the quiet, deliberate acts of love are the ones that leave the deepest impact. The sunlight shifted slightly, bathing the trio in a golden halo. Lily leaned her head closer to the dog, feeling the warmth and steadiness of his presence. The kitten nestled into her arms, purring softly. The forest around them held a calm hush, acknowledging the profound revelation that had taken place. For a long moment, girl, dog, and kitten simply existed in serene harmony. The heart-touching truth was clear: love, patience, and intuitive care could create bonds stronger than words, capable of saving lives, both small and large. Lily realized she had witnessed something extraordinary. A small act of guidance had led to the protection of life, the strengthening of trust, and the growth of her own heart. "You're amazing," she whispered softly to the dog, voice trembling. "You show me the meaning of connection, and the power of gentle guidance." The dog blinked slowly, as if acknowledging her words. Lily felt her chest fill with warmth, understanding, and a quiet joy that would stay with her forever. And in that golden afternoon light, as the forest held its calm breath, Lily knew the heart touching truth: the bond between her and the dog, and the life they had protected together, was something extraordinary, rare, delicate, and infinitely beautiful. The late afternoon sun bathed the forest in a soft golden glow, stretching shadows long and gentle across the moss-covered floor. Lily sat on a blanket of fallen leaves, the kitten curled securely in her arms, purring quietly. The dog rested beside her, amber eyes reflecting the fading sunlight, calm, steady, and full of quiet pride. The forest hummed softly, as if it knew this was a moment of closure, a time when hearts could settle and breathe deeply after the morning's journey. Lily's fingers stroked the kitten's soft fur, feeling its warmth, life, and vulnerability. Every purr, every soft breath, reminded her of the small yet profound miracle they had discovered together. The dog watched closely, his gaze attentive but gentle, ensuring that every movement was safe, every connection preserved. In that moment, Lily felt the forest, the dog, and the kitten all aligned in a quiet harmony that filled her heart with calm joy. "You know," Lily whispered softly, her voice barely more than a breath, "this morning, I didn't realize how much I needed this. I didn't know how much I needed you." The dog blinked slowly, amber eyes steady, and she felt a warmth spread through her chest. The bond they had formed was not just about saving a tiny life, it was about trust, care, and mutual understanding. The kitten stirred, lifting its small head to nuzzle Lily's chest. She smiled, adjusting her hold to make it more comfortable, and felt a surge of tenderness. The dog nudged her gently, as if reminding her that they had journeyed together, learned together, and now could simply exist in the quiet warmth of shared presence. Lily's heart expanded. She realized that this was the reward, the emotional closure, the sense of completion, the quiet healing that comes from connection and care. The forest around them seemed to echo the lesson. Leaves rustled softly in the breeze, sunlight shimmered across the bark of the trees, and birds trilled in gentle harmonies. Lily breathed in deeply, letting the warmth of the sun and the forest fill her lungs, letting the soft purr of the kitten and the steady presence of the dog settle her heart. Every detail, the scent of pine, the softness of moss under her knees, the golden light, was part of the healing, part of the gentle closure that wrapped around them like a comforting blanket. She glanced at the dog, amber eyes meeting brown, and whispered, "You've changed everything, for him, and for me. I think I understand now what you've been showing me all along." The dog gave a subtle, deliberate wag of his tail, and Lily felt her chest swell with gratitude. This small creature had guided her through patience, empathy, and care, leading her not just to the kitten, but to a deeper understanding of love and connection. The kitten mewed softly, tiny paws stretching, and Lily laughed quietly, a warm sound that mingled with the gentle chorus of the forest. She adjusted the kitten in her arms, feeling its trust and comfort, and realized that this fragile life, once hidden and vulnerable, was now safe and nurtured. And the dog had made it possible. Lily leaned closer to him, resting her hand lightly on his fur. "You've been amazing," she murmured. "You taught me how to see, how to feel, how to trust. And you saved him. You saved both of us, in a way." The dog blinked slowly, head tilting slightly, as if acknowledging her words, silently accepting her gratitude. Time seemed to slow. The forest remained calm, the sunlight stretching across the ground in warm, shifting patterns. Lily felt a sense of completion settling in her chest, a healing warmth that had been growing since the morning. She realized that emotional closure wasn't about rushing forward, but about fully inhabiting the moment, honoring the journey, and embracing the bonds that it formed. "You've changed my heart," she whispered to the dog, voice soft and reverent. "And I think I'm ready to take care of him, to take care of both of you." The dog nudged the kitten gently with his nose, amber eyes steady, and Lily felt a profound reassurance pass through her. This was the soft emotional payoff, the gentle reward for patience, trust, and connection. Minutes stretched into quiet calm. Lily held the kitten close, letting it rest against her chest. She noticed the subtle rhythm of the dog's breathing, the warmth of his body next to her, and the soft golden light that bathed them all. Every small detail, the flick of an ear, the gentle wag of a tail, the kitten's purr, was part of the closure, part of the healing energy that wrapped around them. She whispered again, softly, "Thank you, for everything. For guiding me, for trusting me, for being here." The dog's amber eyes glimmered in the sunlight, calm and steady, and Lily felt the quiet, unspoken understanding deepen further. She realized that this moment was not just an ending, it was a new beginning. A place where trust, care, and empathy would continue to grow, nurtured by the bond they shared. The forest seemed to hum with life, golden light shimmering across the moss and leaves, birds singing in soft harmonies. Lily's heart felt full, expanded by gratitude and love. She gently rocked the kitten, feeling its tiny heartbeat against her own, and glanced at the dog. Amber eyes met hers, steady, knowing, warm. "I think we're ready now," she whispered. "Ready for everything ahead, together." The dog gave a subtle, deliberate wag of his tail, and Lily felt the gentle closure she had been seeking, the end of one chapter, and the soft, hopeful beginning of another. For a long, quiet moment, the three of them sat together, girl, dog, and kitten, bathed in sunlight, comforted by presence, connected by trust and empathy. The forest held its gentle hush around them, leaves rustling softly, sunlight shimmering, and Lily realized that the lessons of the day, the journey, the guidance, the intuition, the care were all part of something far greater than discovery alone. She whispered softly, almost reverently, "You've healed me, and him, and maybe even yourself, in some way." The dog blinked slowly, resting his head near her arm. Lily smiled, feeling the full weight of the emotional closure settle in her heart. The sunlight deepened to a soft amber, shadows stretching longer, but the warmth remained. Lily hugged the kitten gently, then rested her hand on the dog's back. She realized that while the day had brought challenges, discovery, and quiet tension, it had also brought healing, understanding, and profound connection. The forest seemed to breathe around them, a quiet witness to the bond formed, the lives touched, and the hearts changed. Lily knew, deep in her chest, that this soft, heartwarming closure was only the beginning of a life filled with care, trust, and love for the kitten, for the dog, and for herself. And as the golden light settled fully on the trio, Lily whispered one last time, softly, filled with gratitude and warmth. "Thank you, for showing me the beauty of connection, the power of intuition, and the magic of care." The dog blinked slowly, amber eyes steady, tail wagging gently in quiet approval. The kitten purred softly in her arms. And the forest, golden and alive with warmth, held them in its embrace, sealing the journey with soft emotional closure, a gentle, healing ending that left hearts full, spirits lifted, and souls quietly, beautifully transformed.